Welcome to Startup Health TV. This is where we celebrate the entrepreneurs and innovators who are transforming health. I'm Logan Plaster, and it's my privilege to be here today with my friend Victor Penev, CEO and founder of Edamam. So Victor, let's just start by understanding this interesting way that you're organizing the world's food data. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, absolutely. So the premise about the organizing the food data is that we believe that people will live up to 120 years without chronic conditions and mental illness if they eat right. So we set out to organize the world's food knowledge, give it back to people so they can live the long, healthy lives. Now, in the process, we've built a platform that we power various companies, whether in the food, health, and wellness sector, to be able to provide solutions to end consumers that help them eat better. Whether those are nutrition analysis, meal recommendations, meal plans, looking up data, all of that is available to our clients, which are usually businesses in the health and wellness sector that then build applications, diet management, personalized meal recommendations, so on and so forth.
Okay. So my understanding is that your food data could be sort of powering other apps or platforms that I might be running into. So where does your data kind of bubble to the surface?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Like example here, there's Noom, which is a client of ours.
Oh, really? Okay.
Virtech Health is a client of ours. There's companies like Opsys Health, Bitewell.
How does a company like Noom, which is huge, how does it incorporate your data?
Well, there is some kind of a form of personalized meal recommendation. So we have recipes, a very, very large database of recipes that we've analyzed and tagged for every nutrient, allergen, lifestyle diet, chronic condition, so on and so forth. We've tagged all those recipes, made them searchable, and Noom uses this, for example, to complement their database with recipes that come from us that are already analyzed and tagged and easy to personalize. So that's what we do for them. That's usually the use case for chronic condition management, wellness, so on and so forth.
Interesting. Since you're in this business of meal recommendations, it just makes me think about this surge in interest in generative AI and how it is impacting sort of every recommendation engine. So how does that impact Edamam?
Yeah, well, in a lot of different ways, and I'm glad you asked it. We're launching today actually an integration with OpenAI. Yes,
nice.
With OpenAI that actually allows the customers of our clients to ask in a natural language questions like, build me a keto meal plan for 3 weeks that is under 500 calories per meal, whatnot. We'll be able to generate from that a request to our APIs and then return a very accurate data, because generative AI does hallucinate, as everybody knows. We mitigate that problem by linking that natural intuitive interface to our APIs. So that's one way we've addressed it. But generally, what has happened in the industry is people say, there's a new tool. Now we can solve a lot of problems just by going to OpenAI. Turned out that's not very correct because of the accuracy of the data. And that's where we come in. We believe that actually that has a very positive effect for our business, because down the road, we'll be able to marry the intuitive nature of the generative AI interfaces, the chatbots, and our accurate data, and build something that's very useful for our clients and for their customers.
So you're launching this right now. What's it called?
We call it AI Assistant. Not very
AI
creative.
Assistant? Okay.
Yes.
No, it's all right. That's all right.
We thought about calling Eddie from Edamam, but we decided against it.
I like it. AI Assistant. And if I were to want to use it, would I download an app? Would I go to your website? How do I use it?
As an end consumer, you wouldn't be able to use it, so we sell to businesses.
Got it.
And so it will be a business. Let's say it's an app that is building diet management for kidney disease.
Got it.
So as a client of theirs, instead of asking for a meal plan that you have to go through a bunch of drop downs and onboarding interviews.
If you're on
surveys.
Noom or Verta, like you said, now their app is powered by this AI assistant.
Well, not yet, but
could be.
That will be the type of applications that we'll be able to support. So there are a few early startups that are experimenting with that, and we're trying to integrate the AI assistant into that, so be able to actually do this in a very intuitive way. So as a customer, you'll be just saying, hey, this is what I want. That sends an API request to us. We return the data, and then our client will structure that as a meal plan that's described for the end consumer, or a recommendation, or nutrition analysis.
Now I want to ask you a more philosophical question, because I know you're a thoughtful guy. We're applying all of this data, all of this technology, and at the root is a pretty simple problem of people needing to eat better. And there's some very sort of like simple elements to this, right?
Absolutely.
Culturally, do you see us moving towards building the habits of better eating? What do you see around you in terms of the trend of nutrition?
I see very diametrical forces. So there is a portion of the population that's become very health conscious and it's starting to seek and eat better. For better or worse, that tend to be the more affluent part of the population, so they can afford to pay more for food. They have the time to actually investigate and learn and whatnot. Talk about health equity and whatnot. So there is also part of the population that is being squeezed economically, and they're going for the cheapest food.
Yeah.
And this is where I think public policy has a role to play, because the market drives companies, especially in the food space, to minimize costs, usually by processing food, which is not very healthy. So processed food is the bane of healthy living. And so unless there is a way to drive food companies toward creating health food, the portion of the population that cannot afford expensive food is probably going to fall off the wagon. Now, I hope that this is going to change, because there was, here in the US in particular, there was a White House initiative around food as medicine, which allowed for companies to get reimbursed by Medicare, Medicaid if they prescribe food for somebody who is a patient, and the food gets reimbursed. Now, it's a very positive development because that addresses all those issues. So if all the other insurance companies get on the bandwagon for reimbursing food suddenly becomes really a medicine, and then I think we have a solution. But what I'm saying is, for the most part, still the basic decision why people choose to eat is price and convenience. It's not healthiness, unfortunately. We want to change that, but if we don't drop the price of healthy food below what unhealthy food is, we're going to have a battle on our hands.
Assuming that you're right, that the cost is that main driver, what role do you see food data playing in sort of health equity?
I think there is a lot of misinformation there, especially food data is very, very kind of murky waters, because there's a lot of fads, there's a lot of conflicting data. I mean, that's part of the reason why I started the company, is let's organize that knowledge so we can actually provide actionable, accurate data to people at the point of making a decision, because there's so much conflicting data. So I think part of it is to give the right data to the person when they need it, so they can make the right choice. And oftentimes, it actually speaks to healthy food that might be cheaper that you just don't think about.
Exactly.
So if you're, for example, a mom that lives in the Bronx and has to feed a 4-person family coming back from work, the immediate go-to is like, I'm just going to go buy McDonald's and get 4 Happy Meals. But likely you can do rice and beans for a week at the same price or lower price, which is a healthier meal, which is probably related to your heritage, and also has all the necessary nutrients. You just don't think about it.
Yeah.
So if we can provide people with the contextually right information, we hope to be able to change habits.
In an accessible tool.
In accessible tool, absolutely.
People are starting to get so used to things like ChatGPT that you can imagine someone saying, what's a healthy alternative to Happy Meals that costs the same? And all of a sudden you've got an answer coming out powered by Edamam.
Yeah, that will be, we'll be the company powering the data behind, but will somebody be building apps? I don't know if ChatGPT is prevalent in the Bronx, but there are all kinds of other ways to deliver the data, and that's why we're very much agnostic as to the platform of how the data is delivered, whether it's a dietitian that sits in a grocery store, whether it's a school who or uses an app that's using our data, whether it's a mobile app or whether it's ChatGPT interface, whether it's a talking device like Amazon Alexa, it doesn't matter. For as long as people use it, we want our data to be there to help people make the decision.
Awesome. Well, Victor, you've been on this mission for a long time, and it's been exciting to watch these partnerships grow, and you have a strong impact. It's a much bigger issue than one company. It's a whole cultural, global issue of accessible, healthy food, and so I appreciate the work that you're doing and the way you're bringing a lot of help to a lot of people.
Yeah, thank you. It's a 50-year battle, and we'll win it
Awesome.
eventually.
Thanks, Victor. Appreciate your time.